morning, had a couple days of practice, he'll have a Saturday walkthrough. Is that enough to be able to maybe put him in some packages or allow him to play at all?
Yeah, look, we're just trying to get him up to speed as fast as possible. I mean, anything's on the table right now, but it's, and I think he's a pretty sharp guy. But it'll just be how much we feel and he feels comfortable, as to whether we do it or not.
Maybe similar question. How's Taylor look this week? You think he's ready to roll Sunday if FSU's so?
I think he's done pretty well. I think he looks pretty good, and so there again, we'll see how he looks today and make a decision from there.
I think it was Anthony yesterday maybe said that he didn't know if he could get a full game out of Taylor. Is there, I don't know, do you have a plan? Could he play 60 snaps?
Here's the thing. Here's the good news: is Taylor's. I mean, he's been working his rear off, while he's been, getting this thing back, rehabbing, and so he's in very good shape. Now we all know football's different, and so I think we'll see how it goes. But I think if anybody could do it, it'd be him.
How important is he, not just to the physical makeup of the offensive line, but also the mental aspect and just the veteran leadership?
Yeah, well, I think you nailed it. It's all encompassing, because not only is he a talented player, he's big, he's long, he's got really good feet, but he's smart now. He's very smart. He's a student of the game. He gets it. He's done it a while. And so just that level of experience, too, with the talent sure does. It helps.
To what degree does it feel kind of like a little bit of, I don't know if rebirth is a little overstating it, but just coming back after the bye, and now you go into this Pittsburgh game kind of fresh. Is it easy enough to push behind the things that really dragged you down a little bit?
Yeah, well, I think you have to. And I think that's what we've tried to focus on. We put that game to bed and tried to put most of that to bed before the bye as to, what we need to clean up, what we really need to work on. And yeah, man, here we go. And now all the focus has been on this game, and where we're at. These guys are coming off a bye. I thought they came out and practiced well, practiced hard, but there again, we got another game, and you got to go out and execute.
Got enough game film now on Evan. Just curious what you think of how he stepped in there for Frank and played at center the last month or so.
Yeah, Evan's been solid. I mean, he stepped in, and he's a sharp guy now. He's smart, and he's really been, I hate it when you ask me stuff like this, but he, it's kind of one of those guys, I don't want to say you take for granted, but it's, kind of don't think a lot about it, and that's a good thing, man. He's in there, and we know he's going to set the table up, and he'll mix it up. He's got good leverage and power, and so, yeah, I mean, I'm glad we got him. Just like Nelson, I'm glad we got Nelson.
Further barrier for, I guess, backup offensive linemen to have success in this league. It's something I think has been talked about the last few years. Is that just another feather in the cap for Hank, just the way he gets those guys prepared to step in for you?
I think so. Look, I think Hank's a hell of a coach. I do. And he's got a lot of experience, and I feel like you just see him growing as a position coach. I mean, I've seen it just in our time here. But it does, man. He does a good job of developing those guys, working with them. I mean, he works all aspects, from the mental side to the schematic side to certainly the fundamentals of it. So, yeah, I mean, that's a credit to him.
You sort of touched on this before, with the Steelers. What makes them so good? When you sort of know what you're going to get from them, but they've got a way they play. They play that tough football. It seems like forever. What makes them so good?
Well, I mean, look, they know their scheme in and out because they have done it for so long. So they know their own, I guess, blind spots, if you will. And sometimes that's what makes you some of the great ones, man, is because they know how they're going to be attacked. And they're really good at that. And then on top of that, I mean, they've got some players now that you can draw up all kinds of good stuff, but when you've got Watt off the edge and you got 97 in there, and I mean, it's and these backers can run, 55 can run, and so it just, with what they have talent-wise, and then the fact that they're all high motor, and they're all going after the football, and they understand their own schemes and how they're being attacked, and so, that's what makes them hard. It really is, and And we're looking at the red zone last night, and it's like you don't see very much production in the red zone against this team because of the way they play, you know. And really, it's the teams that get in there and, man, it's a tackle for loss, it's a sack fumble. You know, you start getting impatient, man. Those are the ones that they struggle against this team, you know. So I do think you got to be patient against them.
The red zone, you know, it's been a focus this week for you guys. You just mentioned how good they are defensively there. So when you're game planning for something like this, are you focusing on what you do well and getting the fundamentals right, or are you kind of dipping into your bag of tricks and trying to get creative and finding ways to attack it?
Man, I think you got to do both. You know, you certainly need to do what you feel like you do well or can do well with your personnel. But at the same time, man, you know, there again, you go too far that way, and then you forget about this rush, you know, or the mismatch in the run game one way or another. That'll bite you. So it's, you know, I know I'm speaking out of both sides of my mouth, but it is both. I mean, you got to be aware of both.
How often when you're watching, I don't know if you get to watch much, you know, during the season, but like last night, flea flicker, screen pass, something you don't see a whole lot. Like, how often do you see something like that and go, can we find a way to incorporate this into the
Listen,
bag?
we look at all that stuff. I mean, and our coaches do a good job too. If I haven't, or one of our, I mean, we find it and we see it, and so yeah, because you're always looking for little trinkets like that you think that it's something that you feel like you can do, or it's relative to the same type coverage or scheme, or what you know, is this something that would make sense for us to do? But yeah, I mean, you keep your eyes on that stuff.
And you were with a quarterback the last few years that was maybe his physical skills weren't what they were at the peak of his career, but he still got it done at a high level. Ben, you know, maybe a similar boat where his physical skills have fallen off a little bit, but you know, the Steelers are still 5-3. So when you have a quarterback like that, how dangerous is he? How do you sort of prepare for what he did in the past versus what he is now?
Yeah, listen, it's tough because he still is just. He gets rid of the ball quickly, and he can still make those downfield throws, man. Those go throws, up and down, back shoulder, and when he's in the red zone, he still is ever dangerous as he's ever been. I mean, you know, it's even like what happened to us in preseason. You know, these back shoulder throws to the tight end, and so look, he can still do that stuff. He's just not quite as mobile as he once was in the pocket. But look, it's problematic, and I still think that you got to find a way to make these guys as one-dimensional as possible. And you know, I think if you can do that and close the pocket in a little bit, at least you help your odds. Is the best way to say that. But you know, here's for whatever it is or isn't. I know this. He doesn't lose this. This is only getting better. And so, man, getting into the right play, knowing the right. I mean, there's just so many things that. To be the field general and be able to get to some things that he knows because over time he's done it, and get his team into or his offense into. That's the real dangerous part, I think, is he's seen it all, he's done it all, and you know, for him to have a little leeway to maybe make a couple of adjustments on the fly, that's what makes it real tough.
Dan, what percentage would you put on Decker playing Sunday?
I would say high. High percentage.
80?
Higher than 50.
Higher than 50. All right.
Yeah.
I can work with that.
That's my point. Coach, at this point in the season, as you guys are still searching for that first win, do you ever use any of that outside criticism of the team as bulletin board material to try to push different buttons with players?
You just talking about outside criticism?
Yeah, like from media, you know.
Oh yeah, I don't. You know, man, it's all about us in here, and you know, we got to stay true to who we are, man, and we can't deviate from the standards that we set from day one. You know, it's easy to do that. It's easy to do that if you do listen to all the outside noise and you start getting panic mode. But man, we're trying to build something here, and I do like the guys we have in this building right now. And so as long as they just focus on each day coming out here and just getting better, you know, this is the most important day right now because this is the day we're in, and it's to get ready for Pittsburgh. And that's all you can worry about. It's all you can focus on. You can't worry about the past. You can't worry about next week. It's got to be right now.
Is it a challenge to try to keep them focused and not let that stuff permeate their brain?
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's there again. You stay true to what the vision is, and you just keep harping on it and the hard work and the details, and and you just reiterate the fact, man, you can't read that stuff. You can't listen to that stuff because that's not what it's about, you know. And I go back to this, man. Some of these teams that have won game after game after game, they're being anointed right now, you know. And so, and that's not true either, you know. So just focus on what's in front of you. That's all you worry about.